Tom Brady's $89,000 used pants, climate change Catan, and hey, do you have to lick yourself during this movement? Hey, I'm Greg Ott, and we've got these 3 weird and interesting news stories coming your way right now on your daily news refresh. Before we get going, give us a like and a hot subscribe to tell the algorithm you want more stuff like this in your feed. Thanks. So some dirty old pants were just sold for nearly $90,000. Those dirty old pants, of course, once belonged to a very famous football-playing Hertz pitchman. This one, not this one. May I present to you lot number 158 with Gray Flannel Auctions. The Tom Brady Tampa Bay Buccaneers NFC wildcard last game used pant. From Mr. Brady's final career game against the Dallas Cowboys on 1/16/23, as memorialized by marker on the waistband. The pants are an accommodating size 34 and were authenticated by the MyGray system in February 2023. Their authentication isn't just some classic sniff test. They say they have a contract with Getty Images so they can photo match items worn by a player in game action. In this letter of authentication, included with the pants, they observe they don't have licensing rights to print the Getty Image photos they use to verify this stuff. Fortunately, it was also authenticated by this included Associated Press image, which we also happen to have a contract with, and yeah, as you can see right here, a man is wearing pants. Even though Tampa Bay lost this game 31-14, and Tom Brady would soon go on to claim he was retiring for good, he nonetheless remains an athlete whose one-time leg coverings had a minimum bid of $10 grand, which ultimately spiked up to $89,100 to the winning bidder who likely considers themselves lucky. It is worth noting, however, that getting your legs on some Tom Brady memorabilia can be a bit of a risky endeavor. As we told you a short while ago here in your daily news refresh, please subscribe, some guy recently dropped 14 grand on a bunch of autographed Tom Brady merch. But Brady's signature was so sloppy and unrecognizable, his signature couldn't be authenticated, and the guy who bought it all says nobody wants any of it and he can't get his money back. Man, that's a shame. But you know what? At least that ticket probably doesn't smell like a jockstrap. Does anyone need wood? 1 sheep. I'll trade you 2 brick for 1 sheep. Wheat for wood? 2 sheep? Wheat for wheat? Wait, all I have is ore. 3 sheep. I can't spare any brick. 4 sheep? I have brick. 5 sheep. 7 sheep. 10 sheep. If you've never played Klaus Teuber's The Settlers of Catan before, that may have just all sounded like the rantings of a madman. But to the uninitiated, Catan is a game of resource trading, kind of like Monopoly for people who prefer to keep their relationships intact. The Catan company says more than 40 million of their games have been sold since 1995, and more than 20 million people regularly spend time in their gaming universe. Indeed, there's all kinds of expansions that go beyond the basic mechanics of trading wood around a desert. There's a dragon expansion, there's one that involves a soccer match, and there's even a version where you can settle Indiana and Ohio for some reason. But this classic game of wheat, sheep, and ore, that's a development card by the way, has a brand new twist that's just been released. Climate Change Catan. Officially, this brand new Climate Change Catan is called Catan New Energies. And rather than focusing on the woolen needs of a growing agrarian society, New Energies is based on real environmental sciences in a game where you must decide. Invest in clean energy resources or opt for cheaper fossil fuels, potentially causing disastrous effects for the island. Now, for those looking to enjoy a whimsical escape from the drudgery of our modern world, don't worry. You still build roads, towns, and cities like in normal Catan, only to then be forced to consider whether to build renewable or fossil fuel plants, attend a climate conference, or struggle with rain and flooding. Rather than assembling the largest army, you can achieve the cleanest environment. Rather than enjoying the harvest from the Year of Plenty development card, there's a research grant. And rather than grappling with that dastardly robber baron, there's a pencil-pushing environmental inspector. It goes on like this. Catan says these new gameplay elements will get players thinking and talking about important issues, and they hope it'll show how we can transition to a more sustainable and more regenerative energy and economic system. It is worth pointing out that the UN Secretary General just said our planet is on the highway to climate hell, given the World Meteorological Organization said earlier this month that there's an 80% chance that the average global temperature is going to exceed those 1.5 degrees Celsius pre-industrial levels at some point in the next 5 years, which is, how do I say this, bad. You can order this Climate Change Catan on Amazon now, but you better hurry up. The UN Secretary General thinks we're also playing Russian roulette with our planet. Though unlike Catan, a 6-player version of Russian roulette doesn't require an expansion pack. Finally, here's a stray cat wandering on stage in the middle of a live orchestra. This video from earlier this month is from the 52nd Istanbul Music Festival in Turkey, where in the middle of Beethoven's Symphony No. 6, this creature with lives number 9 wanders onto the stage in the middle of the performance. You can even see some of the musicians smile as Leonard Bernstein there saunters about. Come on guys, eyes on the score. It's not exactly clear who this stray cat is, but that shouldn't be a surprise in Istanbul, considering there are thousands upon thousands of stray cats roaming Turkey's streets. In the comments of the Instagram account that posted this video, NJ Park called this an orchestra. Papa Tong said, "I was hoping that cat was just gonna plop itself down in the middle of the stage and take a nap." And Isaac Marion observed, "An entire orchestra of people who trained their whole lives to master their instruments performing the work of classical geniuses." Yawn. One cat existing, starry eyes. Well, Isaac, with your comment in mind, here's Beethoven's entire 6th Symphony performed by the Skidmore College Orchestra, courtesy of MuseOpen, set entirely to stock footage of cats from Storyblocks. thanks for watching. You're either a huge Beethoven fan or a huge weird news fan, and if you've made it this far, please subscribe. I beg you, because you're doing absolute wonders for our watch time.